Every African child, right, knows about the tortoise stories. But hidden inside these stories are powerful lessons for, that have to deal with human nature, leadership, and the inner throne. The inner throne is a place where our decisions are made, right? So today I welcome you again to Tortoise Tales. This is Coach Kochi. In many organizations today, sadly, the loudest voice in the room is often mistaken to be the strongest leader. But African folklore teaches us something entirely different. It brings a perspective that honors the power of quiet intelligence. So, one year, the forest faced a terrible drought. The animals were scared. What are we going to do? If there's no water, everybody will die eventually. And fear spread across the forest. So the animals gathered together one day under the great baobab tree to decide, what do we do? The lion roared with authority and said, we must appoint a new leader who can guide us through this crisis. The monkey jumped from branch to branch and he delivered his own long speeches. The hyena criticized every proposal that the previous animals had brought up. Everyone had something to say. Everyone wanted to be heard. Everyone wanted to be leader, except the tortoise. He sat quietly near the edge of the gathering and he listened to the other animals. He watched, he observed, and days passed. Just arguments. They couldn't agree on who to appoint a leader who would show them the way out of this challenge. One morning, miles away, beyond a line of tall grasses, Tortoise discovered something. Another river. It was hidden, and it was flowing quietly through the valley, and the others had never explored this region before. So the next day, when the animals gathered again for their debate on who would be the leader, and then the leader would then come up with a solution to the problem, this time the tortoise spoke and he said to them, the river we depend on is dying. And he said this very calmly. But there's another one. The animals, of course, started laughing. How would you know? Said the monkey. The baboon was like, please, can we discuss something else? Anyway, what the tortoise did was just simply turned around and began walking. Curious and desperate, the other animals followed him. And hours later, they got to the water. It was fresh. It was flowing. And it was enough to sustain them all. And in that moment, there was no longer a need to say who will be our leader. It was obvious. Not only had Tortoise found a replacement source of water, he had also led them to it. So there was no speculation. And it dawned on them that without talking, the tortoise had already been leading. So what's the leadership principle here for us? First of all, that leadership is not volume. Leadership is not a function of how loud your voice is. The tortoise in the group rarely spoke. And the loudest person in the room is rarely the most perceptive. Leadership has to do with foresight. Real leaders develop the discipline to observe patterns that others often overlook. Discipline. They study trends before the trends turn to crisis. And when real leaders finally speak, their words carry weight because these words are grounded in insight. What's the executive application for this folktale? In many executive environments, leaders feel pressure to constantly prove their competence. Pressure is real. So meetings become opportunities for performance. Everyone talks, everyone presents, everyone signals authority. But the most valuable leaders are often doing something different. They are scanning their environment, they're studying their environment. They're curious and they're asking deeper questions, just like a coach does. They're noticing the risks before the others who are busy debating even see them. In boardrooms, markets, and institutions, strategic awareness always beats constant visibility. And many times, we as leaders, executives, are seeking, notice me, see me, I'm talking, I'm working. Constant visibility. The executive who quietly understands the future will always outperform the one who simply dominates the conversation. So my question to you today is, in your leadership, where could you be performing, trying to demonstrate competence instead of building foresight? Were you struggling hard for people to see that you're competent without foresight? As a leader, are you investing enough time in thinking, in studying, in anticipating, and in projecting what could come next? Are you scanning your environment for possible solutions to the crisis or anticipated crisis? My coaching challenge to you today would be, for the next 7 days, next 1 week, do something unusual. Step back slightly from the noise. Yes, I know you like to be in the middle of everything, on top of everything, but step back slightly. Observe your organization, your industry or your team more closely, more carefully. Ask yourself, what risk is emerging that others are maybe ignoring? What opportunity is quietly developing beneath this chaos or this crisis that is on the surface? And then prepare one thoughtful strategic insight, one thoughtful plan, and bring it to the right conversations. This is how foresight begins. Remember, leadership is not first about the throne you occupy in public, the position, the title. It is more about the throne that you govern within. Who are you within? And as I round up today, I just want to encourage you to guard your inner throne well, because every decision you make there will shape your outside world. Until I see you again, this is Coach Kochi saying bye-bye.